My name is Marrickville and I'm the General Manager at the Bower Reuse and Repair Centre.
So, can you tell me, what is the Bower? How does it work?
The Bower is an environmental charity dedicated to diverting household goods, pre-loved goods and salvaged building materials from landfill. We do that through collecting, reusing and repairing and then reselling items to the broader public. We've been operating for about 13 years and I think we divert about 190 garbage trucks worth of goods from landfill across the whole of the Sydney area, and we aim to sort of improve what we can divert from waste through educational initiatives in the community as well as directly selling and repairing as our main operation.
So if someone was to come to the Bower, what would they expect to see?
Have they been here before?
No, they've never been here before. First time visitor.
I'm not sure what the expectations are, but if you do come to the Bower, you'll find a straw bale building that demonstrates what can be done with found and salvaged building materials. You'll find plenty of pre-loved wardrobes, solid timber furniture, a lot of retro goods, because we can't take a lot of IKEA chipboard kind of stuff, because when that stuff dies it's definitely dead. There's no reusing or repairing those kind of things. So we're trying to bring a focus onto quality of product, quality of materials, and get people to focus on the life cycle of the objects that they're buying, be it from us or from IKEA, and think about, you know, how long is it going to last and what happens to it when I don't want it anymore. So we take the things that people don't want, and you'll find bric-a-brac, plates, cups, furniture, building supplies, and you'll also find restored goods by our membership. We're a cooperative, so we have 108 members, many of whom work in furniture restoration, and they sell through us on a gallery consignment sort of system, and that helps us support people who are doing the right thing in the community that support our aims and objectives. So we have about 7 or 8 objectives, the primary one always being to divert waste from landfill, but we also try and provide things at a reasonable price for the less fortunate in the community. We try to provide employment opportunities for locals. We work with a lot of volunteer organisations. Our primary ethos always is to promote reuse and repair towards life cycle extension of objects.
And this is a fantastic space. I love it. There are so many interesting and quirky pieces and books and pamphlets and pieces of electric equipment. How do online services like eBay or Gumtree compete with this kind of experience, or does it?
I think we're very much the treasure hunter sort of place here. You know, there's still that thrill, as there is with eBay, of finding the object, and you know, we don't bargain or haggle here, but you'll find that because we're a charity it's 30 to 50% of the retail price, so you'll find something here and it will be at the right price and you'll go home with the same sort of feeling. We actually work with eBay sometimes because it allows us to approach a different market to what we get through our doors here in Marrickville, particularly in this centre. We're quite hidden away. So if we find something that's hugely collectible, something like 80s keyboards or vintage accordions, we can put it on eBay as a charitable fundraiser, and that helps us sort of top up our reserves and make sure that we can keep paying everybody here to do what we do.
Can you tell me a bit more about the people who like to donate to the Bower, or who are members of the Bower? Yeah. Is there a particular profile?
You know, there's not a particular demographic. You find everybody from students to bargain hunters. We get a lot of second-hand dealers. We get a lot of elderly folk who just like to come down and, you know, have a look through, have a bit of a chat, pick up a book, pick up a cable for a computer project they're working on. A lot of the collections that we book are, particularly in the southern parts of Sydney, are elderly people who are moving into homes, and they sort of think, well, you know, I can't take everything with me, but I do want to support a charity, and because we go and collect, that's, you know, a good service and a convenient thing for them as well. But I mean, I guess the commonality is it's usually people that are moving or spring cleaning. You know, they're having a massive rationalisation, they have all this stuff and they want to do the right thing. So we try and be the service that helps them do that, and if we can't take it directly, we can tell them who can.
Is there any particular donation or any piece of treasure that's come through the Bower that's really you've remembered because it was like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before, or that's absolutely amazing, or crazy?
Yeah, there have been a couple. The most recent one we actually did some work on. Greg, our truck driver, picked it up as an added extra. If he goes out, he sort of says, he goes out on a collection and picks up a table that was booked, and he says, is there anything else we can help you with? And the guy said, well, yeah, you know, you can take all those frames over there. And then Richard was walking around one day and spotted one of the frames that had come in, and it was a really neat sort of industrial print in a long frame, and it looked very old. And we thought, you know, it's collectible, but we don't know what it is. And it sat in my office for 8 weeks, and then Sam did the research, and we found out it was an English translation of a German work from the 1920s, a lot of which had been destroyed during the war by Hitler because the original artist was a Jewish gynecologist, and they said a similar print sold for £2,500 at Sotheby's. So we were in the Sydney Morning Herald last Monday to see if we could find somebody who could come and validate what that was. And at that stage, the guy who donated it showed up on our doorstep and claimed it back, as you do. But no, that was one case where you definitely look at it and think, I don't know what that is, but it's special and it's worth looking into what that is, because when we find items like that, you know, sometimes it's the difference between breaking even for a month or not. If we have a good time on eBay, then it just sort of keeps everything rolling along. But we've had some amazing donations from old priories and monasteries that are out of business. Renovators and demolishers ring us up as part of their sustainability plan, and we go out and clear them out. We've had neat things from bus depots and museums and all sorts of things.
And what kind of impact do you think that this work has on be it the local community in terms of reuse or recycling, or be it the broader community?
The Inner West is an interesting community. We're all pretty thrifty and pretty handy. You find if you put something out on the curb, it's gone an hour later without fail. And there's very much that mentality of making do. So I think it's a little bit chicken or the egg with the Inner West, whether reverse garbage came first 30 years ago and the community followed, or whether that's the mentality that we have now. But you find a lot of people in the Inner West are interested in making do with what they have, minimising their footprint, living locally as well is really important here. So we like to think that we're having more and more of an impact outside of the Inner West. We run quite a few workshops in the eastern suburbs about, I call it curbside upholstery. We teach people how to use industrial discards to refurbish furniture. And we're hoping to offer more and more as our staff build up our own skills in timber repair. So we're hoping that by being further afield and teaching, that we're having a bigger impact than simply having a store in Marrickville.
Are there any other workshops or programs that you run to educate people or to get them motivated to start a new initiative that they might not already know about?
So we have a couple of things in the pipeline. At the moment we've got the Upcycle Challenge downstairs, so we've gotten all the people that come in and tell us what they're going to do with the stuff that they're buying from us to bring in their objects and put them on display, and having that in the store for 2 weeks. As with the consignment section, it shows people the possibilities of what looks like junk in parts of the store here, because we do collect people's rubbish. So we try and always demonstrate the possibilities and the potential of these items, because we can't always do it ourselves. So part of that is trying to educate, and I know about upholstery, so I teach the curbside upholstery workshops, and we're now working with TAFE Outreach to teach 13 or 15 members of the Redfern community how to reset furniture, finish it and upholster it. And in participating in that, all of our staff are learning timber skills and hopefully learning a bit about mentoring that aspect of the community. And what we find with outreach is that that's about creating pathways into open employment for people who are participating. We're also about to start having a men's shed. We've got a tool library and a common timber workshop of sorts downstairs. So for 2 days a week we'll give that to a community organisation called a men's shed, and they'll take 4 to 8 participants a day, and the idea is to get guys with little social opportunity in the regular sort of daily life and get them into a space where they can work on a project, feel useful, feel functional, and start socialising and talking about issues that are important to them. It's a really neat project, and there are chapters all over Australia, so we're really excited to have that happening in our workshop, because then our doors will be open and people will see that we're reusing and repairing on site. So they'll be fixing furniture that's been broken and donated to us, and then we'll be reselling it in order to fund the supplies that they need to keep going. So we've got quite a bit on our plates.